An important aspect that I want to emphasize is identify whether you are inside a building, any kind of building, or outside in an open environment. This is important because if you are inside something, you would deal with your inner reality, something inside you, feelings, tensions, conflicts, conflicts between different parts of yourself, growth processes, awarenesses, whatever. It's your inner process. If you are in an outer environment, then you deal with how you look at things around you, how you experience your life in your relationships, in your involvements, your activities. You're dealing with people, you're dealing with circumstances outside. So this distinction is quite important to make. There might be exceptions. I wouldn't say it's 100% clear that inside is an inner reality only, outside is an outer reality only. There might be interferences. You might be outside and still have a lot of inner reality, and you might be inside and something is intruding that is coming from the outer. Like if you are in an apartment, but the door is open and somebody walks in, that might mean that somebody is walking into your life. Or you're looking through a window and you see things outside. You are inside, but you see things on the outside. Then, of course, this indicates that you are both in touch with something inside, but observing something that happens in your outside environment. So this inside and outside, we will come back on this more in detail with specific examples, but it's already important to really clarify from the start what part of your reality, inner or outer, are you dealing with. Obviously, if it's in a building, not only the type of the building, school, restaurant, hospital, university, personal house, house of somebody else. The type of the building is important, but also the kind of room. If it's the kitchen, you deal with your needs for nourishment. So you would need to say that and identify at the beginning of the dream. If you are in the kitchen, in your house, then I am in touch with that part of my being that deals with my needs for nourishment. If you are in a bathroom, you are in touch. I am in touch with the part of me that deals with my needs for cleansing, purifying, getting rid of dirt, unwanted stuff. Might be a shower also that you want to take. When I mean bathroom, it's for washing. Of course, you might also be in a toilet, and we've seen that this is where you want to get rid of unwanted emotional or mental bad habits and unwanted stuff. The attic, the rooftop, all these things have specific meaning. The stairs is where you move up or down. The ground floor or higher floors, all these indicate different levels of your being. Lower, more towards your subconscious, or heavy, or lighter, higher, more in an elevated position. Elevators are also what allows you to move up and down. All these are fairly straightforward metaphors that you will have to translate, obviously, chronologically, following the dream story. But from the beginning, from the start, you have to identify what part of your being are you dealing with. So let's look at a first dream example. I am looking for a new office, the dreamer says. I have already searched and visited many places. Some were okay, some were not. I still search further, which involves many days. And in between searches, I go back home. So whatever happens afterwards, here we have the beginning of a dream, or maybe a whole dream, and you would translate that by, I am looking for new developments in my work, in my possibly professional life, or possibly as an alternative, it might be your inner work. Because maybe you want to work on yourself. If you are very involved in your personal development, that might refer to what kind of strategies can I follow that will allow me to progress in my personal development. It's another kind of work. So work is not only your professional life, it's also how you deal with your inner work. But it might be your professional life. And you would say then, it's not clear where I am going. I'm searching. But she says, I feel I am in touch with my inner space of trust and security. And that's the metaphor of the home. She's going back home on a regular basis, searching, coming back, searching, coming back. So that's translation number 1. Here we have another example. I am driving my car in a stormy weather. It's evening and I can't see the road clearly. I'm driving home. It is a mountain road going uphill. All of this is the setting. Then my dog and young child are with me in the car, which is quite messy, full of garbage. But I also have a box of food with me, and I give some biscuits to the child. That is the dream. So the reformulation goes, I find myself on my life path, my present life situation. There is a strong emotional instability, big turmoil in my life. That's the storm. I cannot see clearly where I am going. Can't see the road clearly. So, raining, misty, storm, dark. This is something you can have to clarify in order to really get what you're dealing with. I'm driving home, so I know I am aiming at reaching back into my inner home. That's my purpose. Even though my present life path is challenging, going uphill. The dog is an animal part, animal nature, so he is very much aware of his sexual nature and also of his inner child, the part of him that needs to grow and that requires care and attention. I'm also aware that my inner space is in a terrible mess. That's something that is good to be aware of. Then you can start doing something about it. However, says the dream, I do have some basic inner resources, quite meager, in fact. A box of food is not really a wonderful buffet. It's just very simple things. So I have little inner resources with me, and I do feed my basic needs for growth and healing. So this guy is probably, I can tell you, in a challenging relationship situation. He is in a divorce process, so it's difficult for him. And he is very much frustrated and pained by this situation. So he feels he is in a mess, and this dream is really mirroring back quite clearly where he stands. Another example, I find myself in a bed in some kind of hospital, which looks and feels like a prison. My daughter, a 4-year-old little girl, comes running in with another little girl. They also are living in this space, in this place. She comes in the room, saying something to me, very briefly, and then runs away again. And all of a sudden I realize that my dearly beloved little daughter is in a state of abandonment. Nobody really cares for her in this huge, dehumanized place. She is in a great need of attention. Then I start crying with deep sobs. Something in me reacts. Enough of this. We don't need to stay in this place. I take my child and I go away from the hospital. That's a quite interesting dream. Let's go through the translation. The setting: I am in touch with that part of me that feels stuck, a prison, in a situation where I badly need some physical care and attention, the hospital. Physical care, possibly also emotional care. My inner child is with me. My inner child, the part of me that is in pain, that needs care of attention. Doesn't show that it's in pain. It's not really aware of it. That part of me looks innocent and playful. It's not totally lonely because it has a friend. But then I realize that my inner child my need for growth and self-development is in fact totally neglected. I am in a place, in an inner space, that does not really take care of things appropriately. This is what the dream reflects. There is a part of me that is in great need of attention. It's quite an insight. And indeed, this awareness triggers in me deep sadness. I start sobbing. And all of a sudden, I feel ready to do something about it. I can't stay like that. I can do something. I realize I can change the situation. So I decide to take care of my real needs and move out of my prison state. Well, here again we have a situation where a person, a man, is in some kind of depression, feeling very bad, realizing that there is some strong need there, that he is victimizing possibly and lying in a situation where he blames others and does nothing for himself. And all of a sudden, this dream shakes him awake. He realizes, yes, I can do something. I can move out of this prison. I can change conditions and I can change the way I want to lead my life, both inside and outside. There are practical steps to take. There are also some initiatives possibly that he can take in terms of his inner development, his inner needs. We will leave it here for this topic, and we will keep working on another series of dream elements in the next issues. So I remind you, the homework we can do, pay attention to your dreams, work out, start taking care of your own dreams and capacities to translate them. Don't hesitate, if you feel like it, to possibly also ask your close family, partners, children if you have, friends, to share dreams with you. Sometimes it's easier to have an insight about other people's dreams because you are more detached and you can apply the rules that you have been taught here. So just listening. You don't need to interpret or do whatever. Just sharing dreams might sometimes help developing your sense of what they are about. So do practice and see you next unit. Bye bye for now.